Under the skin. Daniel had always been the ideal husband. Attentive, successful, effortlessly handsome, a neatly trimmed beard, eyes that seemed to know too much, and a silence that made women want to uncover his depths. He and Claire had been married for almost 8 years. A stable, comfortable, predictable marriage. Too predictable. In recent months, Claire had grown distant. She started coming home later, always exhausted, full of vague excuses and a gaze that no longer met his. She said it was work stress. She said it was just a phase. Until one rainy night, she asked to talk. "Daniel, I started therapy. I thought you should know," she said in a low, almost embarrassed voice. "Any specific reason?" "I just need to understand a few things, about me, about us." He nodded, and respected it, but the distance only grew. Claire became more absent, more critical, colder. Her therapy sessions became sacred, the only commitment she never postponed. She always came back with an air of emotional superiority, like she was watching the marriage from the outside, like he was the problem. Until one afternoon, Daniel came home early. He found Claire's laptop unlocked on the kitchen counter. Snooping wasn't like him until that moment. But something inside him snapped. An open email, signed by Dr. Emily V. Harris, was on the screen. The tone, too friendly, too intimate. It ended with, "You don't have to pretend with him anymore. Your desire is legitimate. Allowing yourself to feel is the first step." Daniel felt his blood boil. It wasn't jealousy over Claire. It was the dirty game, the hypocrisy. The idea that his wife was being healed by someone who clearly wanted him out of the picture. He didn't say anything, didn't confront Claire. He simply began to plan. 2 weeks later, he booked a session with this so-called therapist. Pretended to be in crisis, said he needed a male perspective. He layered his charm just right. Deep voice, steady eyes. In person, Emily was even more dangerous. Brunette, curvy in minimalist dresses, voice like velvet, professional but with a touch of the forbidden. "So, Daniel, what brings you here?" "Curiosity." He smiled, letting silence hang. "I wanted to meet the woman who is guiding my wife away from me." Emily raised an eyebrow, but didn't scold him. She liked the game, and he knew how to play. The session ended with more tension than answers. The next week he booked another and another. He spoke of frustrations, of restrained desire, of fantasies he couldn't share with his wife. Every word dripped with double meaning. Emily pushed with seemingly innocent questions that peeled back his thoughts. "Do you feel desired, Daniel?" "Not like before, but I know my worth." "And what do you think is missing?" "Someone who truly sees me, who knows what to do with the man beneath this facade." Emily would cross her legs, always in slightly short skirts, her gaze fixed on his. "And what would you want that woman to do?" He smiled darkly. "Shouldn't she show me?" It happened in the 4th session. The air was thick, the sexual tension undeniable. Emily stood to grab a book from the shelf. When she returned, Daniel was on his feet, close. "This crosses the line, Daniel. Only if you want to keep the line intact." She didn't reply. But she didn't step back either. When he pulled her by the waist and pressed his mouth to hers, Emily let out a soft moan, grabbing the back of his neck like she couldn't stop herself. The session became an act of vengeance. Clothes were stripped off in a rush. Emily sat in the therapy chair, legs open, eyes filled with hunger and surrender. Daniel kissed her neck, her thighs, her soul. Every touch calculated, designed to mark her. He took her right there, with the fury of weeks of restraint, breath hot against her chest, her moans muffled by the walls of an office meant to heal wounds, now creating them with pleasure. Emily gave in completely. When she climaxed, she clutched his arm like it was the only thing keeping her afloat. Afterward, as she caught her breath, Daniel calmly got dressed. Before leaving, he said, Now we're finally dealing with things honestly. The affair continued. Weekly sessions turned into clandestine meetings, on the office floor, on the leather couch, in the bathroom. Every time more intense, more dangerous, more addictive. Emily fell. Daniel didn't. He wasn't after love. He wanted to prove he could manipulate too. Then one morning, Claire confronted Emily. She'd discovered everything. Daniel had known this would happen. It was exactly what he wanted. "How could you?" Claire shouted through tears. "You were my therapist." "I'm also a woman," Emily said, "and he is impossible to resist." But Claire no longer cared about Emily after that, only about Daniel. "Did you do this to hurt me?" "No," he said calmly. "I did it so you'd feel what I felt. And now that you have, you can choose, keep living a lie, or want me again like before." Claire didn't respond right away. But that night she came to him in the bedroom, eyes filled with rage and desire. "Do you still love me?" "More than you deserve," he whispered, pulling her close. And there, between rough kisses and touches laced with pain and lust, they rediscovered each other. The sex was fiercer than ever. Claire wanted to prove she still had power. Daniel wanted to show he had taken the game into his own hands. In the end, Emily lost everything, and Daniel got his revenge, flavored with skin, sweat, and absolute control. Because some betrayals don't come from desire. They're born of pain, and some pain only burns clean.